You and your business partner are jumping up and down, high-fiving as you just hit the 4-year anniversary of the successful launch of your software company together. It started out in the basement, and now, 4 years later, you have a nice new office building. You have a handful of employees and a handful of customers to go with that, and you're making a nice revenue. And in fact, you're now ready for phase two of your growth as you've gotten a lot of referral potential business to come in. However, you realize one big problem. Your employees have hit capacity, they can't put any more on their plate, and you don't have enough human capital to support the demand of that new business is going to bring in. You really want to take the business, but you're afraid of taking it and then not being able to support it and fail. If that sounds like you, then you're definitely going to want to stay tuned for the next episode coming up now of Dear Recruiter Help, Recruiter on Demand. Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Dear Recruiter Help, Recruiter on Demand show. I'm your host and resident recruiter, Steve Rosen. And if that little preview that I gave just before sounds familiar to you, then you're going to want to stay tuned. We have a viewer that wrote in with that exact situation, and I'm going to attempt to, in the next 10 minutes, give them some solutions to hopefully solve that problem. So, let's get to it. All right, who do we have here? Okay, as usual in the Dare Recruiter show, we keep everything anonymous, the name and the company for privacy. So, Susan H. out of Seattle, Washington writes, Dear Recruiter, I'm going to need your help. We just launched our data analytics company 5 years ago, and we've really hit a lot of success. We're both surprised and we're both thrilled. We have a handful of employees that love being here. We have customers that we've done some really good work for that have been very happy with us. And in fact, the word's gotten out and we have potential to bring in a lot more business. However, we just realized that if we do that, we don't have enough human capital to support that. Uh, the employees we have now, they're working 60, 70-hour weeks. They have way too much on their plate. So we can't spread them any more thinner than they are. I'm not sure what to do here. I want to take the business, but I'm afraid if we take the business and we fail to deliver on it, it could hurt us. Dear recruiter, what do you suggest? Well, Susan, first of all, thanks for being a viewer of the show and listening in, and thanks for writing in. I love the question, and I think you're being very smart in putting a pause break on taking in the new business. You're absolutely right. The worst thing you could do is get new customers in or take on bigger projects from current customers and not deliver. The reputation with social media out there these days, it would be worse than not getting the business at all. So, uh, to solving your problem, here's what I suggest, and I'm not sure if you or anybody had viewed into the very first pilot episode of Dear Recruiter Help Recruitment on Demand. I broke down a new process and methodology for recruiting. So if you get an opportunity, it's a quick 7 or 8 minute podcast, but it will give a nice introduction into what this show is going to be about going forward. So to your problem, Susan, the first thing I would do is sit down and figure out, what is involved with the work you're about to get, and what's the type of skill sets you're going to need to deliver on that. Whether it's software engineers and the type of background that they have, whether it's product marketing people, product development people, whatever that is, you're gonna want to sit down with your business partner. And then also, I don't know if you have a human resource person or a resource person involved. If not, that would probably be the next hire that you would want to make. Because what a resource person is they're going to integrate a workforce planning strategy with your sales strategy so that when you do get the potential business, you're going to have the right resources in. So in the first show, I talked about avatar profiling, and what I suggest with that for your company, Susan, is sit down and figure out with your business partner, okay, what do we actually need to succeed? Okay, all right, we're going to be growing and growing, so we're probably going to need to get an HR person in here or a resource person. That should be your first hire. Then once you get that person in, then you can start figuring out what are the skill sets that you're going to need, and more important, what are the avatars? And when I say avatars, that's more than just skill set, but that's a profile of the type of person that's going to fit in with the chemistry. You may hire a product development person that can do all the that has all the skills that you're going to need, but if they're not used to being in a smaller organization within a particular technology, the culture is not going to fit, and sometimes that could be even worse. So you're going to want to figure out and put together, write down that blueprint of what that profile is. Once you have that, then you're going to want to figure out, where are these people landing? And when I say landing, meaning where do they live? So you know, what types of social media groups are they part of? What types of after hours establishments do they go to? What where are they at? So that way you can start crafting a message on and finding these people. And when you craft your message, you want to go after it with a branding strategy. So in the pilot episode, I talk about that uh, that this recruitment on demand is really modeled after a sales strategy, which is uh, figuring out who your audience is, figuring out what they need, what they want, and then crafting a message to attract their attention. And that's what you're going to need to do is you're going to want to craft a branding message about your company that's going to attract their attention. Some things you might on your website show pictures or videos of project meetings that you have, types of projects that you put together, um, fun events that you and your employees have went to, maybe some quotes that your employees have written about on why it's such a great place to work. These are the type of things that employees and candidates look at when they're trying to go to a new company. So I think between getting the human resource person in, doing some workforce strategy planning, doing some candidate avatar profile mapping, that's going to put you in good position into going out and start finding the talent. And I would definitely recommend one last suggestion, Susan, before I let you go, is you're going to want to hire first before you start bringing in the business. I know I know it could be an expense, but I would look at it as an investment because once you bring the business in, you can start delivering. If you if you go the other way, I know it's the chicken before the egg before the chicken situation, but if you bring in the customers first and the demand, customers when they start paying you, you're on the clock. They're expecting delivery. And if you tell them, well, your project's going to be 3 months delayed because I don't have the right resources in, as soon as I get those in, we'll be able to deliver, that's going to hurt you. So you're going to want to make the investment in the people first before the business. Well, folks, that's all we have time for. For those of you that have not viewed into the prior Dear Recruiter shows, uh, the program theme is we keep it short and quick. It's usually about a 10-minute show. We answer one question, maybe two, and then I dig deep into it. Susan, again, thanks for writing in. Congratulations on the success of your company. I think if you start integrating some of the tips, I think it'll make taking on that growth a lot less scarier. Well, folks, stay tuned for next week as we'll have another Dear Recruiter show where another hiring manager or leader will write in with a different problem. And who knows, it could be the problem you're having. So it's definitely worth spending 10 minutes of your time. Until next time, uh, I'm checking out. Peace out. Have a great week, and we'll talk to you soon. And if there's any questions, I'm always open to that and suggestions, how you like the show, anything. srosen@careercompassgroup.com. Bye now.